Manoj Bajpayee used to live in Ramada because he was the star. Nawaz, Richa, Vineet, we all used to get one car and we used to get in the car. There was no gym and all. So, like, you know, we would get in the car and there was a stadium. And we used to go to the stadium and do running. And Nawaz would make us do PT. And we would just try and like burn some calories.
Thank you so much for doing this with us, Huma. And welcome to the Humans of Bombay show. It's called How the Hell Did I Do It?
Thank you so much for having me.
We're all very curious about how the hell did you do it. But I'm going to start with a very iconic statement that you made in one of your interviews, which has intrigued all of us. You said something like, I'm tired of being rescued by heroes. I want to be the hero. And I think that that's so amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think I was misquoted. I think I said, I am the hero.
I am the hero. Not I want to be, I am. Yeah. Even better.
Even better.
So where did that stem from?
I don't know. I think sometimes, like when I find somebody like you who I kind of vibe with and we get along, I just talk more candidly and I feel like... yes, I did reach a point in my career where I was like, yeah, what am I doing? Like, you know, I mean, I want to do more. And as an actor, I have more to offer.
Yeah.
So it was coming from that sense because normally in like films, ek hero hota hai, and then, you know, the story's about him and how and then the female actors are always like an ancillary to his journey and his dream and his conflict. And I feel like, no, I mean, like, you know, I want to also do sure, this is a great script that I really believe in, I want to be a part of course, I'll still do that. But I feel like I also want to do films which are about real, living, breathing, three-dimensional women with their own journeys and conflict and dreams and aspirations. And in that sense, I feel like, you know, that's where that statement came from.
And I mean, there has been a evolution or so. There are more female, women-centric roles that are now happening in Bollywood. Yes. So that's amazing. But also, was it kind of like a foreshadowing? Because we know growing up, you came from a very conservative family. So is that something that you felt since the beginning? Or what was your childhood like?
Wow, okay. Fun actually, a lot of fun. My mom is from Kashmir and my dad is from Delhi, and they had this love marriage. So I, as a child, had like the best of all the worlds. Like we would go to like a regular South Delhi school. Weekends used to be at my dadi's house, which was Nizamuddin. You know, so I had to like really behave like a good demure girl. and then summer vacations when my nana nani were alive, used to go to Kashmir and, you know, spend time with them in Gurez and Baramulla, and, you know, that was a completely different world. So I think while growing up, me and my brother, we just were constantly like part of different worlds, and we had to really adapt to sort of, and we were always like very keen to be loved and liked by everybody. So I think that's where the acting thing came in, to be able to assimilate no matter where you are. And just a regular childhood, listen to Backstreet Boys, watch the 90s films. Shah Rukh Khan was my favorite actor, you know, that kind of stuff. When I was in college first year, I think, even although in school also I did dramatics, but college I think really changed it for me because I really like, you know, freedom and traveling alone and going to like North Campus because I was in Gargi College, South Campus, going over there for different like competitions and meeting kids from all over. I think I just exploded in the sense that I was like, oh wow, like there's so much out there.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world from a very like sheltered family. You know, I just completely was like, oh wow, there's so much I can do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that explosion is continuing.
So when you made this switch, your father's he owns a chain of restaurants, mother's a homemaker. You are this brilliant, I mean, you're academically inclined, and then you go to study history, which is like arts, humanity.
Correct.
And then you're like in theatre, right?
Yes.
So it's like a fluctuation almost.
Right.
What was the reaction of your parents? You know, what was the immediate like kind of response to this newfound love?
They were fairly unhappy about it. They were like, "Ye kya hai? Like, you know, why don't you do like an actual career?" Ye kya hai? Because also like an actual career. Like theatre is not a real career. And at that point in time, you know, I was also extremely shy about even admitting it to myself that I wanted to act. You know, coming from like a Delhi household with no connections to the film industry, to tell them, oh, I want to be an actress.
Yeah.
The classic reaction would be like, tumko heroine banna hai?
Yeah.
Matlab tumko Bombay jana hai? Like how like weird and random is that? Like who do you even know in the city of Mumbai or Bollywood or whatever? And I was like, I don't, but I really enjoy doing this. In fact, I started getting a lot of calls for auditions, etc. when I was doing theatre. So I was like, people are calling me, and I'm just a kid, like, doing theatre, like in Delhi, so maybe I've got something. So they tried to dissuade me, and then I told my dad, and I was like, listen, I really want to try this, because if you don't let me try this, then, I obviously won't do it. But I always like resent it. I'll always like hold it in my heart, and maybe when I'm older, I'll do like grandmother parts, or like, at some point I'll express this. But I always feel like my family didn't support me in this decision. And my father's a softie, like, in the sense, like, I think everyone says at least that I'm the only one who can manipulate him emotionally, which I do quite often. So I told him, okay, then I won't do it, and all. I made this sad face, and he's like, okay, you know what, just go try it out, do it for a year. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, don't keep struggling forever, because I think most parents have this fear that their kids are just going to keep like hustling and struggling and nothing's going to come out of it. So they don't keep doing that. I don't want my daughter to put herself through that. So try it for a year. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, just come back and do something concrete and solid with your life.
Yeah.
So वैसे शुरू हुआ, and I was just fortunate. I came to Bombay. Of course, I had the usual struggling period, but it wasn't so bad, to be honest, because I started doing a lot of like commercials, ads.
Yeah.
And जब IPL आता था, whatever, so suddenly I'll pop up and be selling like a cream or a phone or something. So they're like, she's doing something.
Yeah, she's there.
She's coming on TV.
Yeah, she's
so
coming.
it means something.
Yeah. No, but when you took this decision to come to Bombay as a 22-year-old girl without any connections in Bollywood or the industry. How did you manage? So you came here, you didn't have a plan, because there were...
No, I had a plan. My plan was to do one film.
Okay.
I was like, I want to just do one film so I can prove it to everyone that I can do this.
Like I did it.
Like I did it. See, I told you I could do it.
Yeah.
There was no plan really after that. But yeah, it was just that excitement of like, coming to a new city. I'd never lived alone.
Yeah.
I had never done a lot of things for myself, because when you're like growing up with family, तो सब चीज़ अपने आप हो जाती है. Like you come back from school, you throw your clothes in a corner, and magically
it's folded,
washed and kept in the cupboard. And I was like, wow. So first time when I moved here, just to also like run a household, what it means to run a household, and pay your taxes, and if your car's not working, like
you have to
go and fix it. So all those things, and I was like, oh my god, this is a lot of hard work being an adult.
Yeah.
And we take our parents so much for granted. And I think I used to always get cranky at my mother, like, why are you always discussing like domestic help issues, and like now I really understand what all grown-ups need to do, because I've been now doing it for myself, and it's a lot, because you have to run your career, and you at the same time also run your life, which is actually, frankly speaking, quite a lot.
Yeah. And how were you sustaining financially?
So initial months, I took money from my father. In fact, for a good year, I took 30,000 rupees from my father, which was a fairly decent amount, because I was like, I calculated, because I was like, I'm not going to splurge, I'm not going to overdo this. This is my rent, this much food, blah blah blah. And like my dad was like, you sure? Do you want more money? I said, no. I think this is good enough, and I don't want to like push it. I don't want to also feel like a leech.
Yeah.
I am also aware that so many people come to this city to struggle, and they don't come from such a financially stable background. I wouldn't say we had a lot of money while growing up, but we were always like comfortable. And also like I knew that my parents were doing this, and they were not entirely happy with it.
But they were still like...
But they were still supportive, so I sort of felt like I had to earn this.
Right.
But yeah, but it's a good feeling actually, to be economically independent and to make your own money. It's a big high.
Huge.
And I feel like the ability that you now have money and you can buy things for your loved ones, or do things for them, or take them out on vacations. I think that for me is very important. In that sense, I really enjoy the power that money gives you, the ability to do things, not just for yourself, but for other people who you care about and who you love.
Yeah. And do you remember your first audition? I know one of the first initial large brands you signed was Unilever. And of course, it's a household name. Therefore, by default, you would become a household face because you're selling their products.
Right.
Do you remember the audition? Do you remember what it was like? Do you remember your first paycheck? Walk me through a little bit about that.
Very clearly. Early days, I had gone to this production house called Chrome Pictures. Amit Sharma, who's now a big film director as well. He's done Tevar and Badhai Do and all these films. It's his company, and I had gone there to audition for something else. And I remember sort of doing the audition and coming back home, and then I got a call the next day saying, "Acha, usme to aapka nahi hua, but there's another ad. You want to come and like do another audition. So I said, okay, I'm not doing anything. So I've gone all the way, and Bandra was their office, I remember back then. So I've gone there and I did another audition, and 2 days later, I get this call saying it's on, and it was a very big ad with a mobile company that Abhishek Bachchan used to endorse. So I was very excited. I'm like, yes, but also at that point in time, you know, there's so many times you get shortlisted, and then you would never make the final cut.
Yeah.
So I was really disappointed,
Yeah.
and I kept telling my mom about it, and then it would not happen, and then I would feel disheartened, but she would feel even more disheartened. So I was damn excited because it was an ad with Abhishek Bachchan, and like it was this thing. So I went and auditioned, and then they called me and said you're on, and then they told me they had a budget of $5,000. So I was like, it's okay, I don't care about the money. Like, I just want to do
the ad.
I want to do the ad. I want to get my first gig. And I remember we shot at Whistling Woods, and that was my first commercial.
With Abhishek Bachchan?
With AB, and he was very sweet. And I remember there was a mark on the floor. So they've called me, of course, from my van. So I've come like very excited to give my first shot, and I see the mark and I go stand there. And then AB comes like, darling, that's my spot. I'm like, sorry, sir, sorry. And we laugh about it now because I'm reminded of that story. He's like, Acha, you are that actor who takes everyone's spot. No, but he was a thorough gentleman. I really had a wonderful time. And of course, now Amit Sharma's, then I worked again with his company a few months later on another commercial. So I think that was the starting. And then after that, I was doing a lot of like commercial and ad work. And
so what was your mother's reaction when she finally saw you with an Abhishek Bachchan in the ad?
I called her when I left from there. I was in an auto rickshaw, and I called her saying, Mama, I did my first commercial. And she was like, oh, really? Congratulations. She was very happy about it. Yeah.
You also auditioned for Taare Zameen Par, I think, for Aamir Khan's girlfriend back in the day.
Yes.
What was that process? Like, walk us through a little bit about what it's like for a girl with no connections in the industry to go on these auditions, right?
Yeah, but then hua kya tha? I'll tell you, it was a very funny story because I was doing a lot of theatre work in Delhi. So I was doing college theatre, we were directing on plays, I would go for my Act 1 rehearsals in the afternoon. And also there's a group called Jamghat, which is a group I'm still associated with. It's a group of, it's an NGO that works with street kids. So we used to do a lot of workshops with them, and I used to take our time, and we used to also like try and like get them to evolve their own scripts and do their own play.
Right.
And then we used to do a fundraiser every year where the kids would direct, like I would mentor them, but they would direct and write their own play and set it up, and then we'll sell tickets, and that's how it was like a self-sustaining model.
Right.
So we did one of those shows, and then in the end they call you and be like, ये मैडम डायरेक्टर हैं, इन्होंने बच्चों की वर्कशॉप की और ये सब किया. And I'm just like, and I'm still in college. I've managed to wear my Fab India kurta. I used to have orange curly hair at that point in time, and like that was my look. In college, and somebody saw that play. And Tanmay, and he was assisting on Taare Zameen Par, and the next 2-3 days later, I was in Mumbai. I was here on a show with Aamir Khan, another play that I was doing. So I get a call and I'm like, hi, I'm calling from Aamir Khan Productions, and like, we saw your play and we're casting for this part, and it's very similar. It's not a very big part, but it's something similar to what you do. So I'm thinking now somebody is doing masti with me, some friend.
Prank call.
It's a prank call. Some friend is doing masti. So I'm like, I'm to अच्छा, oh, Aamir Khan Productions, अच्छा. एक काम करते ना, मैं यहीं पे I'll come and meet Mr. Khan. Thinking in my head, this is just a friend doing firki. And I put the phone down, gone back to sleep. Then I'm a few days later, next day I'm at the box, NCPA, and a friend of mine was doing a play there, so I'm just gonna check it out to see what it's like. And Sunday I get a call, say, can you come to our office now? It's in Bandra or Khar, whatever. And I'm just like, where is Bandra? Like, I'm actually not from Bombay. And suddenly I'm like, oh my god, this is real.
Oh wow.
And of course, then I said, I'm at NCPA. So, okay, don't worry, it's too far. We'll reschedule. So now I'm nervous because I'm like, oh god, this is for real. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I had no idea. So when they called me and we set up the time, I wore my best maroon Fab India kurta. And I went for that test, and I think it went horribly because I didn't land the part. But I was just so excited.
God.
And I still remember Suchitra Pillai was there in that office at that point in time. So I was very starstruck. I was like, that's Suchitra Pillai, oh my god, like how cool is that? Because like a Delhi kid, right? We are starved of any kind of movie star connection. So
I think that's even any kid. Like,
right?
It's like movie star.
It's like there's Suchitra Pillai, and then somewhere inside there was also Imran Khan. So I was like, oh wow, like that's Imran Khan. Like, I was just super starstruck. Of course, it didn't work out and whatever. But then Tanmay became a very dear friend, and he's still a very dear friend. So that's just how it happened. And then, I was like, maybe I can if I try a little bit and like focus.
Means the opportunities are opening up.
Yeah, like it's there, right? Like if they're calling me, then I must be doing something right. Yeah.
And then the big break, Anurag Kashyap spotted you and you landed Gangs of Wasseypur, which is just iconic.
Yeah.
I think everybody's just a fan of that movie. I'm not heard a single person being like, like, we don't like that movie. You're just not human if that happens. So walk us through that. How was that? What was that? And what was the level of starstruck there? Because I feel like, okay, maybe it was different back then, but right now they're all just legends, right?
Yeah.
You see the lamp?
Yeah. No, he was a legend even then. I had seen Gulal and I had seen Black Friday, and I was like, I remember seeing Black Friday in Delhi and I was like, oh my god, who was this director? And I really, like I would really like to work with him. Like just thought pops in your head, right? And then I come to Bombay and then, you don't even know how to access people because you're just like literally a newcomer. You don't know people. I didn't have a management agency. I had no people right around me. I would just get these random messages from coordinators saying यहाँ पे Aaram Nagar so and so में audition है, आप वहाँ पहुँच जाइए. And I remember I used to have this bag where I had a white shirt, a black dress, like a knee-length black dress, and one Indian suit type outfit because I knew like by now, like I figured out कि अच्छा कुछ ना like one of these will work for the look because the look was very important. And they tell you, okay, you have to wear Western or you have to wear Indian or you have to wear like a dress formal. So I was like, I can't think of this every day, and like means were also limited. So I bought these 3 things. I was like, oh, this is standard. This will go with everything. And I used to carry that bag and used to go from one studio, which was like right down the road actually, and go for these auditions. And like they had these tiny small changing rooms and change there and do my own makeup and do my own hair, which was sometimes with disastrous results, but I mean this is how you learn, right? And and I remember Tia used to be this girl who used to cast at that point in time for a lot of commercials, and she called me and she does an ad with it was an ad for a mobile phone with Aamir Khan.
What is with you and mobile phones?
I don't know. They should just sign me on already. Like
every mobile phone, I'm there.
I think they just do more commercials than the others. I don't know. And then again, this was a commercial. I was playing Aamir Khan's girlfriend finally after all these years.
Wow.
That Anurag Kashyap directed.
Yeah.
And so I did that audition. I came back, got a call a few days later saying Anurag sir wants to meet you. Gone for the meeting. He just said one thing, तुम ज़्यादा makeup मत लगाना.
Just be as is.
Just be like as is. So I was like, okay. And by that time, I also done like some good 10-20 ads. Like I was doing a lot of commercial work, right? And I think that was Kashyap's first commercial.
Yeah.
As a commercial director.
Yeah.
And I remember I got ready and all that, and he saw me. He's like, wash your face. So I'm like, wash my face. And we were shooting in white. He literally made me wash my face in front of him.
Oh wow.
Saying, हाँ, अब भी ठीक है. So I was like, sir, आपका पहला कमर्शियल है, इतना मेकअप लगता है, आपको पता नहीं है. सीधे तो चुप कर, मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ कर, चुपचाप से. So yeah, that was that, and it was the ad was over 3-4 days, and then I think by the second day he told me I'm going to cast you in a film. So then me being dumb and stupid, I was like, अरे ऐसे नहीं होता, मैंने सुना है बहुत struggle करना पड़ता है. I've just come, it's only been about a year, and I have heard बहुत struggle करना पड़ता है. So he's like, तू पागल है? मैंने कहा तो.
He's like, I'm giving it to you.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it was so easy. I was like, नहीं आप ऐसे ही बोल रहे हैं. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. मैंने सुना है बहुत struggle करना पड़ता है. I've come here, I've been doing commercials. It can't be so easy. I get a film with Anurag Kashyap.
Yeah, means let me struggle a little bit.
Like, मतलब, are you sure? So he's like, you're mad.
Yeah.
So I said,
but I didn't want it. I'm giving it to you.
Whenever I've really worked super hard for something, it
comes.
It just goes. But when I'm just doing something like, it just lands. So I think that works for me somehow.
So anyway, so he said that I'm going to cast you in a film.
Yeah. And then he did. And then Gangs of Wasseypur was happening. And
how was it like your first day on a film set?
Wait, first day तो बहुत दूर की बात है. अभी तो फिर workshop process has started. And 2 actors, me and Piyush Mishra, were told, इनको script मत दो. Okay. So we were like, and then there was this workshop and we landed saying, okay, not knowing any better. And then we realized everybody else has got the script. तो फिर मैंने first AD को पटाया कि भाई script पढ़ा दे, क्या हो क्या रहा है? I had no idea. So he said, sir, नाटक में का मैं नहीं बताऊँगी, promise. Like, please पढ़ा दे, because everybody knows what they're doing and I don't. And then I read the script and I was like, इसमें तो मेरा रोल ही नहीं है. इसमें तो लिखा है कि फैजल मोहसिना go to the market. which market, what they do, nothing. So I'm a bit like, okay, like
What am I doing?
What am I doing? So then फिर मैंने थोड़ा then Kashyap got to know that I'd read the script. तो तूने पढ़ ली ना तूने? मैंने कहा sir, मतलब I had to know because everyone knows what they're doing, they're in relation to what. I have no idea. People are asking me in the workshop, other actors, and I'm just looking dumb.
Yeah.
So it was just also that, right? So he said, no, I'm like you and Piyush, because Piyush Mishra again, like he's like the sutradhar of both the parts. So he was evolving that part, and like this was also a part where he wanted me and Nawaz to improv a lot. So hence it was written in that sense because it depended on the actor chemistry as opposed to like writing scenes and like making it like rigid.
Just like with the flow, raw, authentic.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then I remember having this very like what should I call it? Senti Conversations, saying, sir, I really want to be an actor, and like my family's not for this, and I really want to make them proud, and I feel, and I really am a huge fan of your work, but like if there's not much for me to do in this, I'm sure like we'll work on something together. So don't like, I really want my first film to be something special, like I really that kind of thing. So he's looking at me like, "Is pagal ho gayi kya?" Then he's got Anubhuti's sister, who's also now a director, and she was assisting at that point in time, and all the other ADs saying, "हमारी picture मना कर रही है ये." I was like, "नहीं मैं मना नहीं कर रही, मैं तो बोल रही हूँ कि I don't think I have much of a role.
I don't know what I'm doing in this film.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing in this film." So he's like, "Just trust me and just do this film. You will not regret it."
Yeah.
So and then I don't know, something just felt right about it, and I was like, okay, fine, let's just go with it. And although like I was still lost because I had no idea what we were doing. It's like this 2-part film with like 300 actors, and like it is not how traditionally films are made.
Of course.
But the process was so fun, and I think I worked with such an incredible lot of really super talented and special people. Who all now are doing so well in their individual journeys and paths. Almost all the ADs in that film have turned directors. Vasan, in fact, I just did Monica with was an AD on that film.
What a film!
Yeah, Vicky Kaushal has done clap for me in that film. So all of us, it's like so like beautiful. All the actors, from Jaideep Alavar to like Nawaz to Richa, everybody's doing so well. Yeah. So I feel it was just that very special film where so many people just came together and who were just starting their careers out. Yeah. And now they all have gone into like different orbits really. We were all newcomers, we had no idea. Yeah. And I remember we were staying in a really rundown guest house called Swati International or Puja International, I'm forgetting. I've written it down somewhere, but I think it was Swati International. It was a really rundown guest house, okay, like really, but you can't even imagine. And then I remember Manoj Sir used to live in Ramada because he was the star. So he was there, and all of us were in Swati International, and then you couldn't complain because Kashyap and Nawaz were living opposite us in an even worse guest house. So we were like the director staying there, and then you can't even complain about this. So we were, and then Nawaz, Richa, Vineet, Anurima, and one more person I'm forgetting. So we all used to get one car, and we used to get in the car. There was no gym and all. So like, we would get in the car and there was a stadium. And we used to go to the stadium and do running, and Nawaz would make us do PT, and we would just try and like burn some calories. It was, I'm telling you, it was like I don't know what you call it, like calisthenics or whatever, like, hand exercises and like just try and get some cardio in and get your heart rate up. But like, and I just thought that's how movies got made. Like, I didn't even know. When I think, when they asked me to do a photo shoot, and they showed me some pictures that this is whatever with you and Nawaz, that's when I realized, oh, I'm the lead of this film or what? I swear, it was like, I was like, oh, and then I remember seeing, even when part 1 came out, I was not on any of the hoardings or posters or whatever. And I thought I'm in one scene in part 1, like, literally that permission scene. And I remember taking my parents to watch the film in Delhi, and I'm not there in the first half, so I'm telling dad, like, abhi mera ek scene hai, but second wale mein I'm there more. So don't feel bad and all about it. Because now, how to explain a Gangs of Wasseypur experience to your parents, because even I didn't understand it. There was no precedent for it, or there hasn't been a film like that after. So my parents were like, some rubbish film she's done. She's not even there in this film. And like, she's saying, part 2 aayega, abhi part 2, tumne bana liya. So they couldn't fathom it only. Kaise abhi to ye bani nahi, hit nahi hui, dusra kaise bana liya. So I'm like, Abhi, I also don't know, but we made it. We'll figure. No, but we had shot both the parts together, right? But they were like, but this is not come. How can they make part 2? You're lying or you don't know anything. So I'm also like figuring out because you're also trying to find answers because you're also so new. My father saw the first half and I told him in an interval, do you want popcorn? Should I get you something? So he's like, बहुत gali-guftaar है ना picture में.
That's a bad movie to watch.
Yeah, I'm just like, gee, daddy, तुमने भी बहुत गालियाँ दी है क्या जब तुम आती हो? मैंने कहा नहीं, I swear I've not abused even once in the film. I promise you. But I think they also really enjoyed the film. Eventually.
Yeah, I think they could have been in the beginning a little bit shocked. Like, what is this?
No, also,
I think everybody was shocked.
Yeah.
In India.
Yeah.
So your parents being like, our daughters in this film is a very different level.
No, not really actually. So see, part 1 released and then they saw that and then a few months later, the first time part 1 and 2 were screened together. There was a festival in City 4 in Delhi called the Audition Festival, which used to happen. And by that time, part 1 had sort of like a fan base really.
Yeah.
But nobody in India had seen part 2. It was only screened at Cannes.
Yeah. Oh,
and the first time I saw the film was in Cannes.
Wow.
The first time I saw myself ever on the big screen was at the Cannes International Film Festival, and I was like, and I'm seeing people like clapping and like, I'm seeing all these international people, and I'm just like, you get this? Like, you're following this?
How do you get it?
How do you understand this? Because it's so culturally specific, and also like it's great like film school, right? Because you realize that, and you see it in front of you that if a film is made well, it resonates globally.
And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how culturally specific it is. It will touch a chord because emotions are universal. So when my parents saw part 1 and part 2 together at the Ocean, I remember City Fort where that screening happened is literally like a kilometer away from where I live.
Yeah.
I've grown up. My college is like walking distance from that place, like Gargi College.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, and part 1 happened, and then all of us were called on stage, and then some random guy has just yelled out saying, Huma, marry me or something. And that was the first fan moment I had, and my parents were there, my brother was there, and I was like, oh my god, like this is so crazy.
But wow.
Yeah, so my parents said, "Theek hai, matlab."
Now it's a deal.
Yeah, she's popular or something. People know her.
Yeah. And do you remember any fun anecdotes with, say, like a Manoj Sir, Pankaj Ji during this iconic filmmaking? Can you tell us some of those?
Manoj Sir was very sweet, very very sweet. He was very like I remember when we were. I didn't have actually any scenes with him, but I remember hanging out with him a lot and like just listening to stories about like his filming experiences. And I remember very specifically there was a time when we were promoting gangs, and we were in the same car going from one radio station to the other, and I was super excited because it's your first film. And he said to me. He said, cherish this because this will never come back again.
Your first
film. This will never happen again. Yeah. After a point, it'll just become monotonous about it and you'll start cribbing about promotions and how much but this feeling, you'll never get again. And I was just like, no, I'll always feel this way. How can you not be excited about like your movie, your film, and now when we have to do promotions, you're just like, arey yaar. Again, same interview. Because just...
Thanks.
No, this is different. Because you're not asking me question like, कैसा लग रहा है आपको? अपने character के बारे में बताइए ना थोड़ा सा. Because after a point of doing 15 interviews of people asking you the same question, अपने character के बारे में बताइए. Your brain just freezes.
Like I memorize this, I'm just going to tell you.
It's almost like you want to tap your cursor. तू बता दे भाई, तेरे को याद हो गया होगा अब तक. मैं तो थक गई हूँ. Can we switch? Let me give your answers and you give mine because I'm just fried.
Just to keep it exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was sweet. And with Pankaj Tripathi, this was the night we were shooting that sequence with Nawaz and me, where Shadi is happening, and he suddenly wears his glasses, and it goes into imagination. Then I wear my aviators, and I'm serving a kebab and all that. And then I turn and I do all that. So I love all this filminess. I'm a filmy kid, right? And somehow the films I end up choosing, or the films that end up choosing me, they have very little of this filmy
element.
Tadka. Yeah. But I fully enjoyed. Like I said, 90s kid, grown up on that, and I feel like pop culture and like if you can tell a good story and an engaging story through pop culture, that for me like is gold, right? तो मुझे तो ये सब बहुत नखरा टखरा ये सब करने में बहुत मजा आता है. So I was having a blast doing ta ta ta, and Pankaj Ji was very sweet. He's like, and ठंड थी, हाँ बहुत ठंड थी उस दिन. It was November or December in Banaras, and we were dying, and we had to shoot and show. It was summer, so we didn't have shawls, walls, nothing, and we were like, so after every cut there was still an angithi where everybody would huddle and try and like get warm. And he said something very sweet, which I'll never forget. He said, "अरे आप में ना वो मैंने आपको कैमरे में आपका close-up shot देखा है आपके अंदर वो ऐसे माधुरी दीक्षित की झलक." And I was just like, that is so sweet.
How sweet.
That was, and we still talk about it, like अभी आपको याद है, आपको मैंने तब बोला था, मैंने कहा जी सर मुझे याद है.
How sweet. How sweet. That's like crazy memories, and now that everybody's doing this, it's like even more special.
Yes.
And what was it like after Gangs of Wasseypur? Then was it like a cascade? Was like the offers,
my world kind of exploded. It did. I mean, it fully exploded. Like I didn't know what to do. Like my phone would keep ringing. My Twitter following from like 10 people went to like something, and I was just like, what is going on? And just like, you know what, also you realize that so many people just get your number and just out of the blue message you. That for me was like a shocking, surprising thing. Like suddenly I'll get like a message from like a director saying, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I saw your film. I thought you were amazing."
Wow.
And I'm just like, and then we'll set up a time for a meeting or like a work conversation. I'm like, oh my god, oh, this is how it happens. Like, oh, how cool is this? And I remember actually signing about 4 or 5 films immediately after.
Wow.
Which is great. Although they called me and I had to still test for it and all of that, but that's fine. But at least I got people calling you actively and calling you into the office and saying, okay, read this scene or read, as opposed to you figuring out, acha karte kaise.
Like there's movement, movement.
There's a lot of movement suddenly. So that was exciting and fun and also very scary because like you suddenly like, I don't know, like should I do this, should I do that, and then like, but it was it was special.
And you know, you mentioned earlier the films that choose you or the films that you choose are not mainstream. Like they're not very the kind of Bollywood that you were talking about.
Correct.
So is that a conscious decision or does that just happen?
No, it just happened. I think what happens is in the business is if you do or you start your career with a particular kind of film, then people, or a particular kind of role, people just kind of keep offering you the same things.
Yeah.
And it still happens with me.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Like I did a show like Maharani, and immediately after I got 4 scripts, which were a Bihari character. And I'm just like, but I've just done it.
So,
like I've done a whole series, 10 episodes of playing a Bihari character. Like there's nothing else
what else can I provide?
What else can I give you? Because I'll just be repeating myself, and then you'll say, oh, but she's so limited, she can only do these vernacular roles well. And I'm like, no. You know, and I had to, it's hard because some of them are also very credible names. You know, so it takes a lot to, at that point in time, to be like, this is really exciting and these people are really amazing people that I'd love to work with otherwise, but this project is not right for me right now because I will just be repeating myself, and I feel today I don't want to do that. I want to do roles and characters that are so distinct from each other, and because I feel I have that range.
Correct.
And if people around me are being myopic about it and not offering me, I will wait. I will wait. And something will come by.
Right.
You know, maybe I'll just do a commercial, or maybe I'll be seen somewhere, or maybe I'll wear an outfit, and maybe, you know, I'll put out something in the world. But people will be like, oh, but she can also look like that, and also maybe do that. If you start working with a particular set of filmmakers or a particular kind of character, you just keep getting offered similar things. Like I dance really well, but it's taken 9 years for people to offer me dancing roles.
Wow.
You know, so. But that's just how it is.
That's how it is. Manifestation, and you believe in it.
Yes.
And Sanjay Leela Bhansali was on that list for you.
Right up there.
And then it happened.
Yes.
What was that like? Like, was that another moment where you were just like, oh my god, like I'm still living the dream, you know?
I loved Sanjay Sir. I think he's incredible. I think he's a genius. I think the way he shoots, the way he talks about his characters, the way he loves his characters is so beautiful. Always wanted to work with him, always wanted to be directed by him. And I, you know, like, again, they say that you choose your words carefully. So I always say, just once in my life, I want to be in a Sanjay Leela Bhansali frame. You know, because the way he shoots you, he immortalizes you. You're there for posterity and you're beautiful. And I remember we were in Amsterdam. I was there on a vacation 3 years ago. It was around this time, New Year's. And I get this call from his casting person, Shruti, who says, oh, you know, Sanjay Sir would like to know, would you like to do a song for Gangubai? So like, should I come now? I can cancel this trip. It's just a flight ticket. Don't worry about it. He said, no. Finish your vacation. Come and meet him. And I think second I landed Jan. Third I've gone to meet him. And he was sitting alone on his set and just looking in the middle of the set of Gangubai on a chair and just like looking and talking to people. And it was such a sight. Like I'm just walking through that alley and I'm just looking at this man so in love with what he's trying to create and so like specific. With what he wants, and it's been a real masterclass these 6 days of shoot that I did with him, and I'd love to work with him again. And he's just everything. It's just so beautiful, so beautiful. I think we all are very happy with not just the film, but of course the song is beautiful, and the love I've got for the song is tremendous, tremendous.
Yeah. Such a great song.
Thank you.
Well shot, well performed. Everything was just
all Sanjay Sir, all him.
Your personal life somehow is just like below the radar, right?
Yeah.
Like we've done so much research. We must have reached like years of trying to just be like, who is she outside the films, outside the set, outside Huma Qureshi, the actor?
There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
I think when you meet me on a one-on-one level, and people who are in my immediate periphery circle, I have no filter with them. I'm like and I feel like because I'm so bare with them and so authentic and so like real, that they feel a need to protect me. I've always had that. Like my friends and family and people feel ye bevkoof hai. She wears her heart on her sleeve, so we need to save her, we need to protect her. Yeah. I put my hair in a bun and I wear dirty t-shirts and I love to watch TV with my feet up. There's no magic in that really.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think my personal life is that exciting or important. I really want... and right now, though, I'm only working. The last couple of years, I've only been waking up and just going to shoot or working or promoting or doing something. I'm going to take my first break now after 2 years.
So I'm going to ask you a personal question that I have, I've been asked or I've experienced. So I'm just going to ask you from that lens. You can choose not to answer, right? As a woman who's like ambitious, who's established.
I'm liking this question already.
Yeah, who has this amazing... thing going for her, right? And like you mentioned, your personal life is something that you keep private, there's not much going on, whatever. Do you ever feel lonely?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we all feel lonely. I think loneliness is such a deep-rooted thing in every human being's condition. You could have all the money in the world, you could have a loving partner, you could have amazing parents, you have a great job, a great body, whatever. But being lonely, I think, is the only truth. The only shift I am trying to make for myself is the days I feel lonely, I try and switch that to thinking of myself as being alone as opposed to lonely. Because lonely, the word has a bit of sadness attached to it.
Yeah.
And being alone is more complete, that I'm alone. I don't know if that's making any sense to you.
Yeah, it does.
But I really feel, especially in this journey as a person who is trying to express herself artistically or thinks of herself as an artist, I find that, like loaded. But being alone is important. It's important to you, what you're trying to do, trying to put out. And also to understand that all relationships and all people and all situations and everything is so impermanent. Today I could be having like a great career trajectory, I could be doing really well, I could be in a loving relationship, I could have all the money in the world, it could be whatever. But that is so impermanent. Or you could be really low and down in the dumps. That is also impermanent.
Right.
So I feel like the only thing if we accept is the impermanence of any situation in your life, you wouldn't feel so lonely.
Yeah. Do you believe in love? What are your thoughts on love?
Oh, I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe in not just romantic love, I believe in love in general. Like I feel I cannot function if I don't feel loved or I'm expressing love. I'm all about love.
And do you want to fall madly in love?
I am madly in love.
Okay, great. That's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah. And what would your thoughts be on the next future?
I baited you, but you didn't
did.
bite. I love it. Well done, girl. I baited you.
Yeah.
That was such a bait.
Because I knew you were gonna say no.
I love it. No, well done. I'm so proud. Impressed. I was going to even saying I'm in love with myself or something, but you didn't fall for it. Great.
Yeah,
well done.
Trick question.
Good, not bad.
answer.
I'm very impressed with her. Well done.
What was I saying?
Suddenly she's blushing. She's like, what was I saying? No, don't come, don't walk in. She's blushing suddenly.
And in life, what next?
Oh, lots of things. Lots of fun films. I have a bunch of really exciting releases. There's Tarla Dalal. There's Pooja Meri Jaan. There's another untitled film that I've just wrapped up. So yeah, like hectic, fun, exciting stuff.
Amazing. It's good to be hectic.
Yeah.
And you recently did this film on body positivity
Yes.
for Godrej.
Yes.
And I think that's something that you speak about, you talk about pretty vehemently. So can you tell me a little bit about that and how that's particularly been in the industry, right?
Yeah.
Because this is that, that typical, stereotypical look that an actress has that
Yes.
you've challenged.
Yes.
So can you talk us through that?
Challenge to pata nahi hai. Like I said, I'm just being myself. It may seem as a challenge to the status quo, but I'm not trying to be Krantikari. I'm just being me. I cannot look like, I don't know, you or anybody else. I can only look like me. I can look like the best version of me. But if you're gonna make me feel bad, then why don't you look like her? So I'm like, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm a fish. I can swim. I'm not a monkey. I can't climb a tree.
Yeah.
But if you tell a fish, oh, you're not a monkey, but she's gonna feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we've been doing. We've been telling people that they need to all be monkeys, but some people are fish and some people are bees, and it's really okay.
Yeah.
And I just want to be the best version of myself. And I think kudos to all the brands that are waking up to this, that are actually investing in this, that are trying to talk about diversity and talk about beauty in all its facets, and not trying to do an Aryan way of picking people and being like, okay, only this is beautiful, only blue-eyed, fair people are stunning, and everybody else is not so pretty.
Yeah.
And I feel like that thought process is so toxic for me. So like I said, it's like all the designers and all the filmmakers and all the people who are choosing to talk about this and place it mainstream and place it in pop culture. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a fun segment.
Okay.
It's called Things About Me You Can't Find on Google. So we've done a lot of research to put together questions that actually aren't on Google. Pretty basic questions.
Let's see.
Okay. What do you do in your time off?
Sleep. Best time pass in the world. Just sleep.
Just sleep it off.
Oh God, sleep is so important. You don't understand. You get to sleep. I sleep 4 hours, 5 hours a day.
Who's your all-time favorite actor?
Shah Rukh Khan. Hands down.
Yeah. Which character of yours do you relate the most to? Not your best, but you just feel like she's maybe you or you're maybe her.
Actually, none of them. I've never played myself on screen.
No?
No. I feel like, I want to play myself. I'm quite fun. The writing has to match up.
Yeah. It has to level up a bit.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You can write me. I'm amazing.
One role you regret doing?
I can't say that.
You can't.
It'll be rude and disrespectful, yeah.
Closest friend in the industry?
My brother?
Okay.
He's in the industry? Fair. Yeah.
Smart answer.
Smart, yeah, but okay, Sonakshi, chalo. Okay.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure? Make me sound like a horrible person. But sometimes I look at people and I create a story about them.
Ooh.
I look at her and be like, okay, maybe she went to college, but then, I'll just create a story about it. She likes scuba diving, or, she shoplifted when she was 12. Some random,
Wow.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
just a random story. And then you pick things on, okay, shoes, aise hai, it's that kind of a thing.
Yeah. A rumor about you you wish were true?
That I am dating Brad Pitt.
What? This is the rumor?
I've just started it.
Yeah, you were just By the way,
I'm dating Brad Pitt.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no. I don't talk about my personal life. If I have to just talk rubbish, might as well.
Right, this is the time.
This is the time, yeah, correct.
If not an actor, who would you be today?
Struggling actor.
Okay. Your favorite old Hindi film?
Favorite ek? Old to even DDLJ is also old now, no?
Yeah,
DDLJ,
so
yeah,
okay,
my
that's
favorite
fair,
film, yeah.
What are you most grateful for today?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Your comfort food?
Rice.
Just plain rice.
Rice with any curry or dal. Like, just rice is just comforting.
This is the most common answer.
Rice,
Everybody
na?
say dal and rice. Just
I'm
dal
telling
and
you,
rice.
it's some bachpan ka khana. I think because like when you start
fed
eating,
that,
you're fed dal chawal,
Yeah,
na? Like as your
it's
first
bad.
meal. Yeah, it's that childhood thing.
And the other segment that we're doing now is that we're going to show you an old image.
Okay.
And you have to tell us what was happening when this, what
with
was the
me?
circumstance? Yeah, you can,
Okay.
like what was going on at that point.
Okay, I can do that.
This is the image.
Are.
Huh?
This is BTS of a film we did, D-Day, with Irfan sir, and we're just making the plan of how to like infiltrate and get Dawood back, and it's a moment from that.
Yeah, it seems like a very intense.
Yeah, basically, so what happens with these kind of shots now, sometimes in film, that they put all these maps and things in front of you and you have no idea what is going on. But you gotta look like really intense as to what is going on. We shot this in Gujarat.
Yeah.
In Ahmedabad, and there's this tiny room over there where we were like supposed to be hiding out and we're planning this entire thing. So yeah, special memories. Oh, this is Maratha Mandir.
Okay.
I remember this. This is Gangs of Wasseypur Part 2, and they wanted me and Nawaz to go and do a photo op there. So I wore glasses because the sun was too bright, and this is my own clothes because I didn't have a stylist then. And we went to Maratha Mandir and we bought a ticket and we got popcorn and then we got pictures clicked of watching DDLJ.
Wow.
Because in the film we have that whole thing, right? Kaun si picture dekhoge? Karna. So we thought it would be like a fun thing, like a promotional thing.
Yeah, like real life kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Any piece of advice to women in general?
Do therapy. Very important. I feel like for most women that I know, and even for myself, I feel like sky is the limit for everyone. And you can really achieve everything, but sometimes what happens is that there's so much pressure around us to be a certain way. And there's so much like unhealed trauma sometimes from like random things in life. I feel like sometimes just to have somebody to talk to and to process all that really helps declutter the mind. And whether you're a career person or not, or you're a homemaker, doesn't matter. But take care of you. You know, that's the most important thing.
It's such important advice, such good advice.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this with us. And
Thank you. It was a pleasure coming to Humas of Bombay. Sorry, the Humans of Bombay. I think I said yes because I was like, I'm going to crack this joke.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I'm going to crack this one.
It's my show now. You can
It's
say
my
that.
show now.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to Humas of Bombay.
But it
Vote
felt
your favorite Huma. Click on the icon below.
like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe to Humas of Bombay. And Humans of Bombay.
Humans of Bombay.
Yeah.
So, but genuinely, it felt like I was talking to a friend. And I don't think that's happened in the many episodes that we've had.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
And I loved that this was so real and that you are you and you're a force. And thank you for doing this.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It really did feel like I'm talking to a friend, and thank you. We should do this again.
Absolutely.
Anna?
Yeah. Cut. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Thank you all for being the best community, and I'll see you soon.
Patience was not something that you chose. It was just thrust upon you. You had to wait for everything to happen in your life. I still remember at Delhi University, I used to stand in line for 3 to 4 hours every month to get a bus pass costing 13 rupees that used to give us free unlimited rides on DTC, which was the only way we could travel. Because auto ke to paise kabhi the hi nahi. And because of that, I think we learned what patience means. And we learned that good things take time. And we used to crib at that point of time, but I think that was such a wonderful blessing in disguise. Where today's kids, for no fault of theirs, do not know that. Everything is speed of thought. You need a book, click. You need clothes, click. You need food, clicks. You need the latest movies, click. You need love, swipe right. Everything that you need, like right there when you want it. So you don't have to really think and plan and do anything.